Now that we have some ideas about the characteristics of the beast or the fourth kingdom, let's look further into the symbology given to us by the Bible about this coming world government. In this video, we will look into the symbology of the seven heads of the beast. Hello friends, my name is Alizar. Welcome to the Light of the World Ministry. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when we upload new videos. Hello friends, just to give you a recap of our previous study, part 1 of the beast series, we looked into the symbologies of the beast. The beast is symbolized by the look of the leopard, feet like a bear, and the mouth of a lion. These animal symbols represent the first three kingdoms of the prophet Daniel's book. These animal symbols represent the realms of Babylon, Medo-Persia, and Greece. Let's read that verse and refresh our memories. Revelation chapter 13, verse 2, Now that the beast which I saw was like a leopard, his feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and great authority. What the verse is telling us is this: the beast will look like a democracy. This is symbolized by the look of a leopard, but it will rule like an absolute ruler. This is symbolized by the feet like a bear, and it will have a religious mouth, which is symbolized by the mouth of a lion. Additionally, we've also learned about the iron teeth and the bronze claws of the beast. The symbology represents tighter population control with the use of its great military might, and on the political front, it will use democratic principles to catch its prey. Now let's move on and learn more about this coming world government, aka the beast. Let's look into its seven heads. Revelation chapter 17 verse 9 reads, This calls for a mind with wisdom. The seven heads are seven mountains on which the woman sits. So the seven heads of the beast are seven mountains. In the Bible, a mountain usually refers to a kingdom. A kingdom is a political or religious system or both with dominion over people or nations. In the next verse, God referred to Babylon as a destroying mountain. Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 25 reads, Behold, I'm against you, O destroying mountains, you who devastate the whole earth, declares the Lord. I will stretch out my hand against you. I will roll you over the cliffs and turn you into a charred mountain. In the context of what we are discussing here, what we can take from this verse is that Babylon is considered a mountain. God called it a destroying mountain. So this is consistent with what we already know about Babylon. Babylon is one of the heads of the beast. Babylon is symbolized by the mouth of a lion in the symbology of the beast. Consequently, all seven heads of the beast are considered mountains. These heads are represented by the combined realms of Babylon, Medo-Persia, and Greece. They are types of government systems. One head of the beast belongs to the realm of Babylon. It's a theocracy type system. Additionally, two heads belong to the realms of Medo-Persia. They are symbolized by the two sides of the bear in the prophet Daniel's vision of the four beasts. One of the head is the absolute monarchy system and the other is the communist system. Medo-Persia as a whole is the realm of absolute rulership. Finally, there are four heads that belong to the realm of Greece. They are symbolized by the four heads of the leopard in the prophet Daniel's vision of the four beasts. Greece represents democracy. These four heads are four types of democratic systems. The wounded head symbology. Now, the Bible tells us that one of the heads of the beast will receive a mortal wound. Revelation chapter 13, verse 3 reads, "One of the heads of the beast appeared to be mortally wounded, but the mortal wound was healed, and the whole world marveled and followed the beast." You might not have heard this explanation for the head of the beast before, this head that receives a mortal wound, but I have insight into this. The head that gets the mortal wound is the Babylon head of the beast system. I got this insight from understanding that Babylon is a theocracy, a form of government system. Moreover, when the head of the first beast receives a mortal wound, the beast would seem to have failed as a system. But the beast system would eventually get revived by the arrival of the little horn, or the beast that came out of the earth. The nations would be awestruck by the appearance of the second beast, aka the little horn, because it would revive a system that the nations thought was already destroyed. The nation will all follow and worship the beast as a result. The symbology of the seven kings. The Bible tells us that there are seven kings that belongs to the head of the beast. What we can take from this is that there will be seven nations that would represent the heads of the beast. Revelation chapter 17, verse 10 reads, "There are also seven kings." Then it goes on to say that five have fallen, one is, and the other has not yet come. But when he does come, he must remain for only a little while. My friends, as of now, we don't have a complete explanation for the seven kings. All we know is that there will be a nation representing the Babylon head of the beast. This nation will be a theocracy. It will be a combined religious and political entity. May God give us more insights into the identities of the rest of the kings on the head of the beast, and we will return to this topic in future vlogs, God willing. Please keep in mind though, the head of the beast that will get a mortal wound is the Babylon head. Now the eighth king. Although we have not completely figured out yet who the seven kings are on the heads of the beast, the Bible is directing our understanding in the following verse. Revelation chapter 17 verse 11 reads, "The beast that was and now is not is an eighth king who belongs to the other seven and is going into destruction." What the Bible is telling us in this verse is that the eighth king is in the same category as the seven kings on the heads of the beast. This information gives us insight into the nature of the heads of the beast. Now we understand that each of the heads of the beast could have more than one king. Moreover, we now understand also that the eighth king is not a head of the beast. So the beast doesn't have 8 heads. It has 8 kings on its heads, but it only has 7 heads. Any of those heads can have more than one king. Let's move on to the mouth of the lion symbology. So the mouth of the lion, or the mouth of Babylon. The beast that was and now is not, or the eighth king, belongs to the lion or the Babylon head of the beast, a theocracy. It represents the revived mouth of the lion. Let me explain. In the following verses, the eighth king or the beast that came out of the earth can be connected to the mouth that was given to the beast. I know it's a little confusing, but I'm going to try my best to explain this to you, because this is a very important aspect of this prophecy. So when the beast that came out of the earth showed up, okay, there are 2 beasts. The first beast got a head stroke and seemed to have failed, and then another beast showed up, the beast that came out of the earth. When it showed up, that's when the first beast was given a mouth that spoke words of arrogance. You see, in order for the beast system to work, they need to have the mouth aspect of the beast as part of the government, as part of the whole setup. But the first beast ended up getting a mortal wound on the lion head, which is the Babylon head. Okay, so when the eighth king showed up, the eighth king is the beast that came out of the earth. It revived the system, the first beast, because it needed the mouth. So the eighth king became the mouth of the first beast. It replaced the original mouth that got a mortal wound and healed the system. We're going to read Revelation chapter 13, verse 5. It tells us exactly when that beast, when that eighth king appeared. The Revelation chapter 13, verse 5 reads, "The beast was given a mouth to speak arrogant and blasphemous words, and authority to act for 42 months. And the beast opened its mouth to speak blasphemies against God and to slander his name and his tabernacle, those who dwell in heaven." So if you notice there, the beast was given a mouth. That's when the eighth king showed up. This eighth king is a theocracy. He's got the spirit of the lion, Babylon. Let's read further. Revelation chapter 13, verse 12 reads, "And this beast," he's talking about the second beast here now, "exercised all the authority of the first beast and caused the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose mortal wound had been healed," because he healed the wound of the first beast, because that head that got a mortal wound is a Babylon head, and he also is a theocracy, so he fits the bill. He represent that head. He is now a theocracy who sits on the Babylon head. As a result, he also is the mouth of the lion, or the mouth of Babylon. So the eighth king, or the beast that was, now is not, is a theocracy. It consolidated all the powers of the first beast under its authority. The eighth king, the beast that came out of the earth, is the one responsible for reviving the entire beast system. I just want to make this point. The mouth that was given to the beast can be connected to the little horn in the vision of the prophet Daniel. Let's read that verse. Daniel chapter 7 verse 20. I also wanted to know about the 10 horns on its head, and the other horn that came up, before which 3 of them fell. The horn whose appearance was more imposing than others, with eyes and with a mouth that spoke words of arrogance. There's so much to cover with this little horn, my friends, and we will look closer. We will look closer into this little horn, or the eighth king, or the beast that was, and now it's not, also known as the beast that came out of the earth, and future blogs. In conclusion, my friends, the 7 heads of the beast systems are made up of the kingdoms of Babylon, Medo-Persia, and Greece. The attributes of these 3 kingdoms are present in the beast system, and they are considered the heads of the beast. They represent theocracy, absolute rulership, and democracy. 1 head belongs to Babylon, 2 heads for Medo-Persia, and 4 heads for Greece. Additionally, Babylon, Medo-Persia, and Greece are also considered as mountains. And the Babylon head of the beast, the theocracy head, would suffer a mortal wound, but would be revived by the appearance of the little horn, which is also a theocracy. The little horn is the mouth given to the beast, and we will cover the little horn in a separate video. This is it for now, friends. We have a lot more to cover. I hope that you learned something from this blog so far. Please come back again. Until next time, my friends, may God bless you.
For my sin